Good morning, guys. Welcome in. How is everybody doing? Welcome in. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. We have a lot to go over. No pre-market yesterday. There was no pre-market yesterday, so today's session is going to be an incredibly important pre-market because we're going over 2 days of data, basically. We'll go over a little bit what happened yesterday, and we're going to discuss what we think could happen today, right? So first of all, I hope everyone had a nice Monday session. How did you guys all do on Monday? How did you guys all? Anybody? AMD? I know AMD. If you guys come to the live streams, AMD is not one of these ones that we're not expecting. Okay, we were expecting. This was something we spoke about for months. Okay, so I hope all of you guys had exposure to AMD. I'm not going to toot my horn right now on AMD because if I were to show you the gains on AMD, it would be it's very nice this morning. So I was very happy on Monday, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to talk about what we can do today in AMD, and we're going to have a nice pre-market because there are some things moving this morning, particularly Tesla. Tesla has some big news today, so we'll talk about what that news is in Tesla and when it is. And I hope you guys all had a nice Monday, right? Hope you guys all took some profit in AMD, maybe sold some shares, sold some leaps in AMD if you guys had it. And I'm back home now. I'm a little bit sick. You can probably hear it in my voice, but there is no way I was going to miss this pre-market. So today's session, I'll be in and out. I'm going to be going to get. I'm going to the doctor around 10:45. I'm laying it out there right now because I cannot be live trading till after 10:45, 10:30. So. That's my plan today, but I'm here. And the thing is, it's important that we stay disciplined no matter what, right? When we can do this, when we can hop on our pre-markets, we're going to go over everything. And that's why I'm here today's session. Okay. So, bear with me. If the audio is a little weird, you guys know why, but we're going to have a nice pre-market here on this beautiful Tuesday morning, right? So I'm back home. I love it. I am someone that I love traveling, but sometimes I just like being back home. That's just who I am, right? So SPY chart, we'll talk about SPY, what's going on here on the S&P. Obviously, this morning we have some big things going on, right? We have structural holds in the market. And look, yesterday's session, again, I was short the market and I got some downside of the market, but the prevailing idea is long demand, right? The prevailing idea is still long demand. Every single day, the market sustains higher. So it's either short the gap up in the market, long the gap fill, right? That has been, if you want the formula to success the last few weeks, it has been short the gap up, long the gap level, right? That has been the biggest thing you're seeing, okay? And this gives opportunity to both biases. What I'm saying essentially is basically market is gaps up in the morning, right? We revert back to the gap level, right? We discipline all those early longs in the morning, and then we find support at the gap fill level, and we revert off of it almost every single time. So today's session, we're going to talk about this. We're going to go over what I'm expecting today here on the market and where these big levels are today on SPY, okay? We're going to go over the Qs chart, QQQ, big levels, strong Qs. We're going to go over Nvidia. Nvidia is interesting because it is holding a very key technical level of demand this morning. So we're going to talk about Nvidia here as well. We'll go over AMD. AMD obviously big upside yesterday's session following the news, right? So we'll talk about that, what it means and where there is demand today here in AMD. We'll go over Tesla. Tesla has news today. Okay, so Tesla has news today, I believe at 11 a.m. 11 a.m., they're releasing the new version of the Model Y, and the market is anticipating this big time. So expect some big volatility today here in Tesla. Let's be aware of that going into our Tuesday morning, okay? We're going to go over Apple. We'll go over Apple. We'll go over Meta. We'll go over a little bit of some Amazon action. Amazon actually doing something of interest. The reason why I'm saying this is because Amazon, to me, is a long, okay? And I'll explain why Amazon's converting to a long. Remember before Amazon was a short for a long time. Amazon's now turning into a nice hold here. And it's a hold at a very key level of demand. So we're going to talk about that in a minute, right? So before we do anything, guys, I want to pivot away for a second. And I want to flash the screen here. You're going to see we have some things to discuss here in the pre-market. We have Tuesday morning, we have Penguin Solutions. So in the after hours today, Penguin Solutions. I don't know who's trading Penguin Solutions, but if you are, you got bigger fish to fry probably, because this is a big problem. Don't be trading penguin solutions. Probably don't trade it. The big one to watch out for this week, though, is you have Delta DAL on Thursday's session, and that's it. That's all we have on the earnings docket this week. Okay. On the econ side, economic data, you guys are probably aware that the government is on the 6th day. I think it's either 6th or 7th day of the government shutdown. So with that being said, a lot of the BLS data all of the BLS data is not being released, but you do have some other data that is being released. To be honest with you, I don't know which data is BLS, which is not BLS. So just bear with me. Our assumption is that there is data even when. Our assumption is that there's data every time that it says there's data. We just assume that there is data. Okay, so today's session here on Tuesday, you're seeing we have this right now, and it's obviously delayed. So that's an assumption that we obviously probably don't data today at 8:30. Okay, and then what we do have is Fed speakers, and Fed speakers will be talking today. So you have Fed speakers at 10 o'clock, you have Fed speakers at 10:05 and 10:45. So Fed speakers all day going into our Tuesday morning. Besides that, you have Kashkari at 11:30 as well, and then you have consumer credit at 3 p.m. But again, transparently, I don't know if this is getting released, because if it's BLS, it's not getting released. But if it's not BLS, then assume it is being released. So again, expect data today, but this is nothing. Okay, the big thing that I would say on the data side today is going to be 11 a.m. We have the Tesla news. The Model Y is being released, the new version of Model Y. I think it's 11 o'clock. So be aware of that. That's probably the biggest news we have today's session. Besides that, Fed speakers peppered in throughout all day today. Okay, tomorrow, FOMC minutes. And then more Fed speakers, more Fed speakers, more Fed speakers. And then Thursday, Jerome Powell. Okay, so let's dive away from this now, and we're going to move over to our SPY chart. Okay. Yes, I think that the Fed data is on hold, right? But the Fed speakers are still speaking, from what I'm seeing. Because last week I was seeing Fed speakers are still speaking. Don't quote me in this. Do not quote me in this. We're going to find out. But let's see. Okay. SPY chart. On the SPY chart, you can see here, this is what's going on yesterday. So yesterday's session was, again, another very simple formula the market has given, right? It has been when the market gaps up here from, for example, Thursday, or you just zoom into this price action here, gap up on Thursday, we see some initial failures in the market, but then we pull back to a key demand zone, and then we rip off that level, right? And you can see here, gap up, we pull back to demand, right? Big upside. Okay, so this is what's been happening, and this would be an example of more of a gap and go, to be honest. But we did pull out to demand here in Friday's session. Now on Monday, right? And again, from my shorts, like I shorted on Friday session, I shorted on Friday there, right? I shorted here, I shorted here. Those are my shorts on Friday. Actually, I also shorted here too, right? So I had 3 shorts on Friday. This one did not work. This one worked. This one worked. And then a Monday session, I shorted again, right? Just same thing, right? Short the highs again, got reversion back into demand. But again, the prevailing idea has been what? It's been, hey, shorts may work a little bit, right? You may see some failure, some moves down the market, but the prevailing idea is still, hey, demand's still right there, right? Demand's still held up. 669.50 held up as support. That was a gap fill level here in SPY, and we reverted right off that level, right? So the market is still maintaining itself structurally at key supports. And the question today's session is, what is our key structure? What is our key support today's session? Okay, our key support today's session is still the same level as our Monday's lows. Monday's lows is 669.50. And if we are above 669.50, the market is still holding a structural level of support. Okay, so if you want shorts to work, in a way that sends us lower for some real aggressive downside, then the real short's going to be back under this low over here, right? That's your first short today for a downside move, right? That would be your best possible short today session. Now, for longs, if you view this as a bull chart, which it is a bull chart, right? Well, the long play is going to be here, right? The long play is simply just going to be a break and hold above these set of highs. We have consolidation highs here at 672.60, 672.60, and then even yesterday's highs, 672.50, right? So about a 10-cent margin here. You guys know what the level is we have to break. The market's telling us exactly the level of resistance that there is in the market. The market resistance is simply just 672.60. If we can break and hold above 672.60, right? We see this break and hold today, then that's your best possible long entry. So this is my scenario for longs. Bam, that's what it is. Okay, if we clear these highs, we're going to see a new set of all-time highs today here on S&P. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm seeing today here for the bull chart. For bears, it's this. Those are your 2 plays today. Okay, and you guys know what it is. Now, granted, you could also look for a failure today. If you see us break the highs, then sweep back below it, that's your short. So these are your three scenarios you are presented with here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. It's, do we rally above highs today? If so, bullish with a capital B. If we break and hold above the highs, then sweep the highs, trap the buyers, right? Then we can look for another set lower and a move down back into our key demand, right? So that is what I'm seeing today's session. It's really a matter of three scenarios today in SPY, and I'm willing to test all three theories going into our Tuesday morning, okay? That being said, let's move on. So again, the question is, if we clear above these highs here, 672.60, where are we going to? Well, I'll argue this. If we clear above these highs, the next big level on SPY, the next major SPY contract is simply just 673 and then 675, right? So the next big contract is 673 and 675. So I expect obviously 673 is going to happen, and then possibly even 675. So that's what I'm seeing here on SPY's chart. Again, big demand below and a big level of resistance above, and a consolidation, but a bullish one. Okay. On the ES chart, you can see here, okay, on ES, we had a good short yesterday on Monday. On Monday, if you were live trading with us, we shorted almost perfectly, right? We got a short built right over here, almost at the highs. I think we waited for a break. I waited for a failure to come in. I went short right there, downside move. Cute little downside play, right? A little bit of a cute little downside play yesterday, but the prevailing idea, again, was what happened right here. A defense, a maintenance of demand below, and that led to us rallying higher yesterday after we left for live trading. Okay, so that was the idea. Basically, the point I'm trying to say is the market's still holding key demands, and until it loses its key demands, we're still just holding supports, right? And that's what we're seeing today. Now, if you see the next big level of resistance, right? 6,800. If you guys recall from Friday's session, that was where the short happened on Friday, 6,800. But this level of resistance, even though it's resistance, you don't want to short right into it, right? The short that I'll be looking for now on ES chart, it was that third scenario we talked about on SPY. If you see us break above the 68 today, then fail below, that's your trap buyer scenario for the move down lower. Okay, so this is your short today, but your long is just the same thing. It's just a break and hold above it. If you see us hold above this level, then bullish. So your ideas today here on the ES chart are pretty simple. It's either we're long above ES 6800, or we break above 68, we trap the buyers above 68, and we can look for a move down lower, right? But the levels, I think, are more clear than ever. I think that this is super important because even though you may not know exactly, for all the people here, we have 900 people here pre-market, okay? Even though you may not know exactly what's going to happen here at 6,800 ES, for me, myself, I don't know what's going to happen yet. We have to see what the market appetite is here at market open. If the market rallies above 68 today, just long it, right? Long it, look for a break, just above it, upside move. But if we start breaking above it and we fail back below, then you know, okay, I can create a short idea with a stop above the set of highs that it just produced and look for a downside move back into lows, right? So the key thing I'm trying to say is trading is about knowing your where, right? And I know my where today. My where today here in ES is 6,800 ES. If I see us above it, bullish. If I see us below it, then look for shorts back down lower, okay? Then again, if you want to see a structure break in the market, a structural break today is going to be back down under 67.70, under our Monday's lows. You could argue here, Brett, make the adjustment, right? Just do yourself a favor, make the adjustment. And I agree, right? Look at the lows yesterday here in the ES chart. So 67.70 was my level here, but let's make the adjustment. Let's make the smart adjustment here after we've been given the data. The data now says it's this. This is the level, 67.66, right? That's your new level of ES support, right? And as long as we're above this level, that's my bull thesis, okay? So let's keep that in mind going into our Tuesday morning, right? So I want to take a water break here. Water break. And I'm going to read the chat. We have 900 people here this morning, which is awesome because I was expecting no one was going to show up. When I take a day off, the next day, nobody shows up. I lose everybody. But you guys are all here. But the one thing I will say is we have no likes in this video. We have no likes at all. Get the like count up, guys. All right. Let's move on. Let's dive into it. So Qs on the QQQ chart. I mean, it's 608 today, right? You guys know the level of all levels today is simply just 608. If you zoom into the price action of yesterday, okay, you notice one thing. The one thing you notice is you can remove all of this and just talk about 608 today. 608 failure, downside. 608 failure, downside. 608 hold, upside, right? So yesterday's session was all about Sergio Torres. Thank you, man. Much appreciated, Sergio. That is very kind of you. Much appreciated, Sergio. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. 608 was your key level on Qs, okay? So if we are above level, we're bullish. If we're below level, then obviously downside back at 606. But even 606, that's my structure, right? So 606 is my structure today here on Qs. If you want to see a structural break in the market, if you want to see a real downside move, this is your real downside move, right? So this is the level you need to see us fail under 606 on Qs for downside back into 604. Okay, so that's the one thing I'm watching today here in Qs. If it does happen, even myself, I don't even trade Qs, but I would trade this. Okay, under Monday's lows. We have a gap fill. Look at this gap fill. Look at the gap fill here, right? Look at this. Look at this gap fill, right? This gap fill still has not filled yet. At some point, the 606 break is going to be really nice. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be Thursday, Friday, right? But 606 breaks, we are going to see 603.75. That's just what it is, right? Because again, the reason why I'm saying this is because under this 606 level, there under our Monday's lows, there is simply just gap to fill back into 603 and change. So watching that today under 606 for puts, if we still hold 608 though, right, we do this, we are bullish and we're just in a fairy tale bullish environment, right? And this is just simply what it is. So above 608 bullish, if we lose 606, back bearish. Everything in between 606, 608 and 606 is my dead zone. It's my graveyard zone. I don't get involved here in Qs, right? But as of right now, 608 holds. We are simply just bullish, right? Still here, 999. Thank you very much. Also, very nice of you. Thank you both for supporting. You are always donating. And you guys know I've been talking about this giveaway for a long time, but trust me, it's coming. It is coming. It is coming. I'm not just saying that it is coming. You guys know we did a big one for the last 3 months, except for September. It was the only month we didn't do it. But it'll be a nice big one for October. I'm thinking it's going to be sometime in mid-October we'll do something, okay? I want to do something for the holiday season as well. So let's move on, guys. I want to go over our individual equities now. Let's start with the first ticker today. The first ticker of today's session that I want to discuss is actually going to be Amazon. And it's a little weird because, and Spliff, thank you, Spliff. Hopefully this is coming out of some nice gains, maybe some AMD gains, maybe a little bit of AMD action yesterday, or maybe some SPY short if you took SPY short yesterday. But hopefully it's coming out of some of those profits. So here in Amazon, I think Amazon is really interesting, okay? The reason why I love Amazon today is it's doing something nice. It's doing something interesting at this consolidation level here, 218, okay? As long as 218 is holding, I'm bullish, okay? That's just simply what it is. 218 maintaining, and you can see this stock is not at all-time highs. There is something that you can that they always tell you this, or this is one of the biggest things that you'll learn in the market, okay? They'll tell you this. They'll say, you can't long an all-time highs, but you can't short it either, right? Because the market will just do things in very crazy ways, right? So you look at a name like AMD, right? And you look at AMD and you look, well, damn, AMD's at all-time highs. And you want to long it, but you can't long it. You want to short it, but you can't short it because it's an uptrend, right? It's a very beautiful uptrend. So what do? It's just nothing, right? So some of these names, you look at AMD and everyone wants AMD. Everyone wants the sexy AMD today, right? AMD is a sexy one. We can't touch AMD. It's too far away from us. But Amazon is one that we can mess with, right? Amazon is one that is approachable, okay? And here's what I'm watching in Amazon. Amazon is holding 218 and is consolidating here in a bullish way. Amazon is also, from where it is right now, it is also 8% from its highs. Amazon also historically does well during November. I am actually watching Amazon for a swing trade, even an equity position. I'm probably going to take a large equity position here in Amazon into my November, December, right? I may take like a probably a 75, 80K position here in equity, or I'll go for probably a 10K swing position here and just have a stop loss under 215. That's what I'm going to do here in Amazon, right? Very simple position trade here. And the reason why is because it is holding well, right? If you look at this too, I think it's also the daily 200 SMA, right? So you can see here, if you want to play with Amazon, you structure an entry right here with a stop loss of below 215. You're risking $6 for a move back into these highs. You want to get the stock while it does not look sexy, because when it looks sexy, it no longer is approachable, right? This is a very, 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 very terrible ideologies here. but in stocks, it makes sense. This is what you have to do, right? We got AMD when it was down in the gutter. We were talking about AMD when it was over here, right? In equity, we were long equity in the chat over here, right? It was not sexy then. Now it's sexy. Now everybody wants it, but we can't get it anymore. But Amazon, we can get, right? And we can look at this chart. Nobody wants the chart, but we do. This is what we want, right? So watching 215 for our position here, I'm going to long this probably today. I'll probably open an Amazon equity position here with a stop on our 215 and a target back in highs. For day trades, I know you guys are here for day trades, so let's talk about day trades. On day trades, I want to see it back up to 225. If it can clear these highs here, break, retest, long entry, upside move. Watching that, right? For day trades, bam. For long-term investing, for a position trade, it's this. I'm watching that right there. 215 stop loss, risking $6, $7. That's my idea here, okay? Wow, Joshua, holy shit. Oh my God, you guys are crazy. Joshua Garrison, wow. Gunny Trades, thank you both. 50 and 50, you guys are incredible. That is really, really nice of you guys. Also, crazy. You guys are absolutely awesome. That is very nice of you both. You guys were also big supporters for the last giveaway we did. We gave away, I think we gave away $100 to 10 people last 2 giveaways. So I don't want to announce it yet because I'm still working with the numbers, but we're gonna do something nice for this October giveaway, right? But that is also very nice of you guys. That is the beautiful part about trading is you have when you know how to trade and you have money coming in, right? You can support other traders, and that's why we do this. So thank you both, Joshua and Gunny. Awesome. You guys are gentlemen as well. Also, check out both their pages. I think you guys both have Instagram pages as well. Check you guys both out on Instagram. I know you guys both are on IG now. So check them both out on IG, okay? AMD. So this is the sexy one, right? Everyone wants AMD here, okay? And just like you were saying, AMD is not one we can touch right now, okay? This isn't, we just can't touch it. It's already in the stratosphere, okay? Now, if you're long AMD, great, right? I was long AMD. It's great. It's nice. Take some off. Sell some, right? Now, if you want AMD, you want to get into a long entry in AMD, where's your long? Well, your long is right here. You can see your long is staring at you dead in the face. It's right here. Ask yourself this. Where is AMD going to go? AMD at some point is going to go to 187. At some point, it's going to happen, right? AMD 187 is the previous all-time high here. Zoom out for a second. 187 is very big, right? So 187, very big level. Technically, I just realized this. Previous all-time high is 227. I was wrong about that. Look at this. 227 is it. Look at what we're rejecting here on AMD. 227 is the previous all-time high. And convenient, look at this double top highs here on a daily time frame. Look at where AMD is rejecting right now. 227, right? 227 was the high we produced here on the intraday time frame, yesterday session, right? So conveniently, we are at supply here. Okay. Now, granted, it's not a short for me. I don't want to short this stock. I don't look for reversion trades on the strongest names of the market. I wouldn't do this. But what I would do is I would wait for the stock to revert back to demand. I would watch 200 as support. I would watch 187 as support, and that's all I would do here. Demand bounces, demand bounces, demand bounces, demand bounces. If it clears 227 upside, you have to have cojones to look for longs above these highs. You really do, okay? You really do. This is going to be a very aggressive trade, but if it breaks out, it's going to rip. 227, previous all-time high break. You could trade this, but it's going to get frothy, right? So look for longs at 227 or look for the pullback long here at 200 or 187. But again, you guys know my thoughts here at AMD. You know my thoughts, right? So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. Let's move on. Let's go over Tesla. Tesla's chart. No, we can't do Tesla. We're going to do NVIDIA. NVIDIA's chart. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is holding bullish, okay? NVIDIA moved down on that Monday morning from the AMD news, okay? AMD got the big money. NVIDIA is the sad little NVIDIA now because everyone's moving money out of NVIDIA to AMD. They're like, wait a second, is AMD the new NVIDIA? So they move capital out of NVIDIA, throw it in AMD. But hold on a second. Look at what NVIDIA is doing, okay? NVIDIA is just holding support. Let's not misconstrue this. Let's not change the fact that NVIDIA is holding key technical level support. We know that NVIDIA is bullish as long as it is above 184 here, okay? If we lose 184, this is going to be a beautiful short. This is going to be a big, beautiful short downside move back into lows. But I don't like shorts in this chart as long as it's holding 184. 184 is support. It's an upside trade here. You can see support, 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 support. Are you really going to short Nvidia back into all these key support zones? I don't think so. Right for it to clear on the 184. If it does, downside back into 180, 175. Right. So this is your big level here on Nvidia, 184. Okay, SMH. What the hell, right? What the hell? I mean, SMH is just this is so incredibly overheated. If you are long SMH, you must be aware that a pullback is coming, right? There is going to be a pullback, right? Winter is coming at some point. I don't know when it is, but it's going to be there at some point. 340 is your pullback long spot. 340 is your level today. If we pull at 340, that's your long opportunity today session. Under 340, we go back into 335. Under 335, back into 325, right? Those are your big levels of support, 340, 335, 325. That's just what it is here on the SMH chart, okay? Moving on. Wow. My throat is killing right now. On the, what are we doing? Apple? Let's do Apple. On the Apple chart. Apple is a chart that I don't like for longs today, okay? Now, as of right now, it's only because it's under 257. But as long as we are under 257, I'm looking for shorts. You can see here, 257 is your key level of technical resistance. You can see here, basically, we have a beautiful resistance built here, okay? We have a breakout, we have a failure back below, and we're seeing us maintain underneath that 257 level, right? So as long as we're below 257, we're actually structuring lower here, right? So looking for shorts here, if we can reject 257, back in 253, okay? Obviously, if we break back above 257, then don't short the stock. That's just what it is here. But everything today here in Apple is based upon 257, right? Okay, let's move on. Amazon, we already did. What are we doing? Let's go over a few other ones. What did you guys want? What did Joshua say? Joshua wanted APP and Teslita. So Tesla has news today. Okay, so Tesla has news today. You guys probably are aware of that, right? But Tesla has our quarter. No, not a quarter. I was going to say delivery numbers because almost always when Tesla has news, it is about delivery numbers. But today is not about delivery numbers. Today is actually about a new product release. So they are launching the new Model Y today. And correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but it's at 11 o'clock, right? So this is 11 o'clock today. We are getting the Model Y release, and market is waiting for that reaction, okay? And so expect some big volatility today here on Tesla, okay, at 11 o'clock. I'm curious to see what happens here at 11 o'clock, right? Let's move on. Oh, I didn't even go over the chart. I just that's crazy. I almost just flipped away. 440 key level of the mid. You guys know I'm a little bit messed up this morning when I just talk about a ticker, but the news, and then don't even go to levels. So 440, Jesus, 440 is your support. Okay, under 440 is 416, and then we have 480 as your supply above. That's what it is here on this chart. Okay, under 440, downside, 440 holds, upside. Back in highs here. I don't know. I don't really have any plays here in Tesla. I really don't. I don't have any plays here in Tesla. I probably won't even trade this stock today. But I want to see what happens here with the new Model Y release. Okay. Not a main watch for me. This is not a main watch. Let's move on. APP. What the hell? So APP is selling off. Okay. Obviously some sort of news, I'm sure, right? So some new, look at the volume. Look at the volume spike, right? Look at the major volume spike. Look at this huge volume spike. This is probably 40 times its normal trading volume yesterday's session. So obviously news coming in here in APP. AppLovin stock has surged 58. AppLovin falls after report of an SEC probe over data collection practices. So SEC probes are interesting, right? Because you have to go back historically and see how do stocks respond to SEC probes. And there are a few case examples that you can run here. But typically, one of the major SEC probes that I remember is BABA, right? The BABA SEC probe, which was not good. So I would expect short-term downside here. SEC probe is not something you want to long and do. For me personally, I would stay away because you don't really know what's going to happen here. But what I would argue is, where does it go to, right? I think at some point probably back into the set of highs here, right? We'd see 524, right? That's what it's probably going into. So obviously downside news here. From a technical standpoint, that's a long here, 524. But just be careful logging back into that news event or that bad news event. Okay, I know that's probably not what you were wanting to hear on on AppLovin, but I can see why it's selling off. I mean, this is a very aggressive sell-off, and sometimes there are dips to buy, and SEC probes are, for me, usually not a dip I buy. Just saying that transparently, okay? Let's move on. SMCI. See, SMCI that's the case example I was trying to think of, Spliff. That's exactly right. Spliff just said it. The SMCI is the level. It was what I was referring to, right? So SMCI, go back, do yourself a favor, right? This is what you want to do, is find the exact day SMCI had its SEC probe, okay? And then look to see how did it respond to that price. I think it was back over here somewhere, right? Or it could have been, I have no idea. I can't remember where it was. But go back into when this SEC probe was here on SMCI and use that as your case example to find trades on APP, okay? Let's move on. OPEN. Oh, you're looking for shorts. Better. I think it's better. Okay. All right. Guys, I think I'm losing my voice here. I think I'm going to have to end it here. Let me give it one last ticker. Unfortunately, you guys know I'm a little bit under the weather. I can't travel. I can't travel. I can't go out. I am not a big going out person. And my immune system is literally awful. But here on Open, you have 7.0. That's what it is, guys. As long as we're above 7.0, we're bullish. That's the thing here. As long as we're above 7.0, we're bullish. So this level holds. Big, beautiful bullish stock. Okay, where is it going to? Probably back in highs. That's it. That's all we have here, right? This is just a classic example of a break, a retest, pull back long, upside move back in highs. So expect 10.8, right? That's where this chart probably goes to. Where's your stop loss? If you're long already, you're probably long with the stop loss below 8.6, right? I would even argue probably under 8.0, right? Because this is your new structure. So under 8.0, 8.0 is your new level, right? So above 8.0, we're bullish. So risk $1.30 for, I mean, these type of trades though, like, to be honest, this is very symmetrical risk, right? Look, this is very symmetrical risk. What do I mean by that? You're risking, if you're long right now, this is a long here, by the way. But if you're long right now, your entry is here, stop loss is there. So in theory, this is basically 1-to-1, right? 1.2 is a 1.25 risk reward. So it is a little bit skewed to the upside. But this is a long. It's just the risk reward is a bit symmetrical for me, right? Typically, you want to get in over here, right? You want to be in over here, so your risk is like this, right? That would be the best possible scenario. So you have a 3.2 risk reward. But again, it's still long. Doesn't change the fact that it's long, right? It's going back nice, guys. That's it. I'm done. I'll see you guys all for live trading. Stay safe, trade smart, do the right thing. I'll see you guys all for live trading. Bye, guys.